What's going on, guys? It's your boy CMB. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and let's get into this one really quickly. Now, guys, we're talking about boxing promoter Eddie Hearn and whether or not he's throwing some shade at Canelo Alvarez for signing that 3-fight deal with the PBC. Now, for those of you who don't know, Canelo Alvarez recently signed a very lucrative deal with the PBC, a $100 million plus deal. In that deal, of course, we're possibly getting the Jermall Charlo fight this September. I think the tentative date is September the 16th. We haven't heard anything set in stone yet, so when it happens, I'll actually report it on here. Now, other fights mentioned in the 3-fight deal, because we don't know who these fighters are. We've heard Demetrius Andrade possibly. We've heard David Benavidez, and we've even heard Errol Spence Jr., who's going into the biggest fight of his career come next month, July 29th, with Terrence Bud Crawford. Now, I did hear some videos today talking about the situation with Eddie Hearn, saying that he was throwing shade at Canelo Alvarez since Canelo Alvarez pretty much signed that deal with the PBC. But I want to read what Eddie Hearn said here, and I want to give you guys my take on it, what I think he's doing here. So I'm going to pull up the article, and I'm going to read what Eddie Hearn said here. So it says, he's got to make his move. I wish him all the best. It was an amazing run, and I'm sure we will work together again. Let me repeat that part. I'm sure we will work together again. Remember that. Now we need to look at the huge pot of money that was there for Canelo fights, and now start looking at bringing a string of big fights. 2022 was Matchroom's year, and 2023 right now is PBC's year. We are competitors. We want to win. We are rolling up our sleeves in order to give you an unbelievable 6 months. I'm not just saying this, but honestly, DAZN is fine with losing Canelo Alvarez. It's got to a stage where not every Canelo Alvarez fight is a success for DAZN. He is a massive name who's done massive numbers for us. He's always been a success for Matchroom, but it comes to a point where the broadcaster says, am I getting value? And the fights that are available. The answer is not necessarily. If we had the Charlo fight or the Benavidez fight, things may be a bit different, but we don't. So, with that being said, is Eddie Hearn throwing shade at Canelo Alvarez for signing that deal and going over to the PBC? Honestly, I don't think he's throwing shade. I do think that he's being a little bit more real now that Canelo Alvarez has signed that deal, about saying that, you know, it hasn't always been a success for Matchroom. You know, we've known that, you know, people know that, but, you know, they're not going to say that when Canelo's, you know, signed a deal with their platform. So I think he's being a little bit more honest when it comes to that. But I don't hear a guy that's talking, you know, throwing shade. I hear a guy that's talking business here. You know, he's looking at the bottom line, and they're looking at the revenue that, you know, that they save, and possibly trying to make better fights. That's what I see here. And as far as, you know, Canelo goes, Canelo didn't really have a lot. They didn't really have a lot to offer Canelo at DAZN at this point in time in his career. Possibly the Bivol fight, but you guys know, you know, that fight, that second fight, the talks broke down due to the fact that Canelo Alvarez wasn't willing to make certain concessions to Dimitri Bivol, fighting at 168, putting the titles on the line. So that never happened. So honestly, he didn't really have a huge choice. The best fighters around his weight class, they just happen to be on the PBC. You know, guys like David Benavidez, guys like Charlo, guys like Demetrius Andrade. You know, and $100 million plus deal is nothing to sneeze at. I'm quite sure he wasn't going to leave that sitting on the table to fight the likes of Edgar Berlanga. That just, you know, fans wouldn't want that. You know, here he is now. He's on the PBC. and he's given the fans the fights that they want to see. So, you know, my hat's off to Canelo Alvarez for doing that. I didn't think he'd do it, but he's doing it, and you can't do anything but respect that. But as far as Eddie Hearn goes, I don't really think he's throwing shade. He says we'll probably work together again, and I'm sure of that. If Canelo Alvarez doesn't decide to retire after this 3-fight deal, I'm sure he'll, you know, work with Eddie Hearn once again. They had a good working relationship. Sure, Eddie Hearn is being a little bit more transparent due to the fact that Canelo Alvarez has signed a deal with the PBC. But like I said, I don't think he's throwing shade. I think he's just being a businessman. And, you know, it's all about business. He's right. They're competitors. Matchroom and PBC are competitors. And right now, the ball's in the PBC's court because they're going to make great fights with Canelo Alvarez. So, but anyway, guys, that's my take on that. I don't think Eddie Hearn's throwing shade. I think people are reaching possibly to make content, but you guys know I'm going to keep it real with you. So let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comment section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.